Columbus, Ohio, September 1997. A pro-stock car explodes in the pit area. Not a crash, not a mechanical failure. An explosion. The nitrous bottle, hidden inside Bill Orndorff's dry sump oil system, detonates while driver Jerry Ekman is still in the pits. Ekman and Orndorff are both suspended. The NHRA has its most public hidden nitrous catch in years. And for the first time, everyone in the drag racing paddock is forced to ask the same question. If it was in the cars, was it in the motorcycles too? The car side of Pro Stock, the nitrous scandal already had a record. Rusty Glidden's confession. Bob Glidden demanding inspections across the class, while his own son ran bottles in a Ford Probe. The NHRA spending years not finding what every experienced crew chief in the paddock already knew was there. That story is told and sourced and over. What the Columbus explosion did was put the delivery method category on the official record and confirm that teams running nitrous in professional drag racing had been doing it for years without detection. The motorcycle class watched that happen and kept quiet. Start with the chemistry. Nitrous oxide is N2O. When it combusts inside a cylinder, it breaks down into diatomic nitrogen and oxygen. Both are invisible gases. Both occur naturally in exhaust at baseline concentrations. The NHRA runs exhaust emissions analyzers at the finish line trap speed to catch illegal fuel additives and oxygen-enriching compounds. Nitrous decomposes completely during the combustion event it fuels. No chemical signature, no residue, no trace that it was ever present. The evidence of the cheat is consumed in the same instant the cheat produces the advantage, every single time, without exception. This is why the car-side nitrous scandal took so long to crack. The Columbus explosion was not detected by the emissions sniffer. It was detected because the car exploded before the car even went through tech. The motorcycle class learned from that. When you hide it well enough, the finish line never tells the story. The chromoly steel frame tube on a Pro Stock motorcycle is hollow. The inside diameter accommodates a purpose-built cylindrical canister. A micro-solenoid assembly, indistinguishable from a standard handlebar adjustment control at visual inspection, activates the delivery system. Internal routing carries the nitrous from canister to intake through the frame itself. The rider uses it for 3 to 4/10 of a second at launch. The nitrous combusts. The breakdown products flow through the engine and exit the exhaust. By the time the motorcycle crosses the finish line emissions sniffer, the injection happened 8 seconds in 200 feet ago. The exhaust being tested is clean. A second delivery method machines cross-drilled channels through the crankshaft itself. Internal passages route nitrous directly into the combustion event through geometry that requires complete engine disassembly to access. The NHRA does not conduct complete engine teardowns as a routine post-run procedure. Standard tech procedure covers what external inspection can physically reach. Steve Johnson has 35 years and approximately 500 career starts in Pro Stock motorcycle. He is the class's most experienced active competitor and one of its most respected voices. In March 2024, in a recorded interview with Cycle Drag, Johnson stated on the record that hidden nitrous use in Pro Stock motorcycle is ongoing, has been ongoing for years, and that the teams running it are known quantities to each other in the paddock. 3 days after the interview published and circulated, Johnson issued a retraction, said he had misspoken, said he was speculating rather than stating fact. The original interview is on the public record. So is the retraction. The NHRA has not announced any investigation prompted by either document. The distinction between those two documents is worth examining. Johnson did not say he was wrong. He said he was speculating. A man who knows what he knows but cannot prove it in a way that survives formal scrutiny does not say he was wrong when he walks it back. He says he was speculating. He protects the factual core of what he said while removing the legal and professional exposure of having said it on record. Pat Musey built pro-stock car engines for decades. He has described the car-side nitrous culture publicly. Teams cheating knew who else was cheating. Teams not cheating suspected who was. The shared operating logic was that raising the issue formally would direct scrutiny toward your own equipment. Nobody talked. Everyone operated within the same unspoken framework. The motorcycle paddock shares that architecture, the same logic, the same silence, the same understanding about where the NHRA's enforcement capacity ends. What the NHRA has is an emissions protocol designed around substances that persist in exhaust long enough to reach the finish line sensors. Nitrous does not persist. Closing this detection gap properly would require routine frame tube inspection protocols, crankshaft internal passage verification, and complete engine teardowns for top qualifiers after every session. None of those procedures exist as standard practice in the professional motorcycle class. The NHRA's institutional position on this is rational, even if it is uncomfortable. A confirmed systematic cheating scandal in pro-stock motorcycle would require addressing historical championship results, disciplining the teams involved, and explaining to sponsors and paying fans why the competitive outcomes they watched may not have reflected honest racing. The institutional cost of finding the problem is larger than the institutional cost of not finding it. The Columbus explosion was 1997. It was in the cars. The motorcycle class watched the aftermath, absorbed the lesson about where the detection gaps were, and kept running. Steve Johnson put the ongoing allegation on the record in 2024 and then tried to take it back. The finish line exhaust sniffer tests clean. The frame tubes on every pro-stock motorcycle in the NHRA paddock are still hollow.
So here is the question. If the NHRA knows exactly where the nitrous could be hidden, knows the finish line sniffer cannot detect it, knows a complete teardown would be required to expose it, and still refuses to look inside the frame, is that enforcement or is that permission? Because in racing, a clean test only means something when the test is capable of finding the thing everyone is accused of using. Otherwise, the result is not proof, it is paperwork. The bike passes inspection, the rider advances. The trophy gets handed over, the points are entered into the record books, sponsors celebrate, fans argue over reaction times, 60-foot numbers, and horsepower. And somewhere underneath all of it sits the same unanswered question. Was the fastest motorcycle actually the best-built machine? Or was it simply the machine with the best hidden advantage? Maybe Steve Johnson was wrong. Maybe this entire allegation is nothing more than paddock frustration, old grudges, and a story that has grown larger every time it has been repeated. But there is one very simple way to settle it. Inspect the frame tubes, inspect the crankshafts, tear down the motorcycles that matter most. Do it randomly, do it publicly, do it often enough that hiding the system becomes more dangerous than running it. Because if the bikes are clean, the riders deserve to have that proven. The champions deserve to have their championships protected. And the fans deserve to know that the race they watched was decided by reaction time, tuning, riding skill, and horsepower, not by who built the cleverest compartment. Until that happens, every record stands, every trophy shines, every champion keeps the title, and every hollow frame tube keeps its secret. The real open secret may not be that someone is cheating. It may be that the people responsible for finding out already know exactly where to look and have decided that the answer would cost too much.